Well, first off, I'm a vegetarian. Second, that I witnessed the changing of the labeling of my food firsthand throughout those years. Is because first off, is I noticed when the labeling started to come into effect, when you start to see the number of sweets and snacks and food period that you can obtain that doesn't have hydrogenated food has gone down. So it's great that the hydrogen levels of hydrogenated food have gone down. Um, as far as the industry about where you're talking about in the 70s with the government asking them to reduce the number of salt, it's because of the concept of greed and profit. The fact that the product sits on the shelf a lot longer, it's going to not spoil as quickly, and then hence who's going to return a higher profit for the manufacturer and for the store. Salt was used as a heavy preservative at that point in time. Uh, I'm not saying it's right. High levels of sodium, cause many health effects and cause people to retain water, etc. But I do think that people do have to use discretion. I mean, I do think that we should abolish hydrogenated food. I do think that we should abolish high fructose corn syrup to a great extent. But there is a problem with a lack of discretion among families, individuals, and parents when it comes to the number of because it's also cheap and subsidized by the government, but it's also embedded in American culture through advertisement. Soda, sugary drinks, excess wasted calories.
It is what you would call a low-grade addiction. That is what most people in this country suffer from, a low-grade addiction to salty, sugary, fat-rich foods that are mostly processed and either have high fructose corn syrup or hydrogenated oil. All of these things are addictive in their own way. The body clings to them and eventually can't function very well without them. Even with things like caffeine, your body does go into remission after a while, and you get headaches and you get shaky, and it does a real number on your body, on your blood pressure, on your neural system. People take for granted, I think, a lot of the effects of what comes into your body, what the effect that has on your body. I'm actually a lifetime vegetarian, recently turned vegan, and the reason for that, in spite of my years of resistance against such extremes as I saw them, was my watching a documentary called Forks Over Knives. And anyone who's watching this should watch Forks Over Knives. It is a must-see documentary. It can save your life, and even if you don't go full vegan, it could still change your life, and hopefully it will change your diet and the way you eat. And also watch the documentary Food Inc., which will show you exactly where our food comes from and how it's processed, and goes into more detail about what Jeff was saying about the contamination in your food, also hormones, antibiotics, that sort of thing, and the pollution and the abuse that goes into factory farming, and why we need the regulations that we do from the FDA, and why we need to fund the FDA.